Hi, my name is Dr. Darren Weissman. I am the developer of the LifeLine technique, really beautiful, life-affirming, simple yet intricate process that helps people to create optimal health and balance and purpose in life. I am the author of 3 best-selling Hay House books, and I'm passionate about empowering people to wake up to what's already inside of you, how to get to the core of the subconscious mind to create real, sustainable, lasting change. I'm excited to share with you 2 upcoming courses that I'll be teaching. One which will be here in Chicago, and another one will be in Bali. And the course is called LifeLine Boot Camp. And LifeLine Boot Camp is for anyone who's looking to create authentic, reciprocal, committed, loving, compassionate relationships with another person, but most importantly, with yourself, where you find the real you. In boot camp, we spend 3 days diving on into the portal of our personal life, our professional life, our family life, and our world today. So many people are just on the treadmill, on the rat race. And as a result, we oftentimes don't find the time to observe and discern what works, and more importantly, what's not working. And in boot camp, you will discover the next best version of yourself. And in a second, you're going to get to hear from people that attended boot camp and the impact that it has had on them, their lives, and the ripple that it's made in their own families, at work, in the community around them. The vision that they're able to see in a way that they weren't able to see prior to attending boot camp. So I so look forward to seeing you either in Chicago or in Bali. You don't have to have any prior knowledge of LifeLine to attend. All you have to do is have a desire to create a change in your life.
And it allowed me to live more fully the LifeLine because we're practicing together, we're living it together.
I went back to work the day after, and a coworker caught up to me at the bottom of the stairs and came over and stopped me and said, "What's different? What happened? Why are you so different?" But the number of times since boot camp where people have come up to me and just said, "What's different?" And I just say, I learned that I'm in control. I learned that I can choose how I react to how I feel, and I can choose how to manifest the life that I want instead of being a victim of the circumstances that are in front of me. And that was a life-altering observation and revelation. And I didn't know what to expect when I came, Darren, and I was really scared. I was scared to death. I don't know if you remember that the first morning I walked up to you and I said, "I'm here. I don't know why, but I am here."
And we practice on one another, and it's been great. It's been a great experience and a great tool to have in our marriage, because we can remind each other when we get in those reactive states, and we do. And sometimes when you get in those reactive states, you forget your tools, and it's nice to have someone to say, "Okay, hey, would you ever choose to feel this way?"
I have to learn this. I have to learn this. I have to incorporate this into my life. I now know. I can't go back to unknown.
I think it's definitely worth a repeat yearly, just to refocus and to reset and reassess your goals and your vision in your life, because I won't be the same person this year that I was at last year's boot camp. And I think it's important to be in a safe and loving environment, in a community that will support and uplift you, and at times hold you accountable to those goals that you set for yourself.
For me, it was a life-changing experience. I have never been thrust into an environment that was both so profoundly uncomfortable yet safe at the same time. I've never hugged so many people so tightly and so intently that I have known for an hour or two. We have made friends that we stay in weekly contact with, and made deep relationships, and have been able to help each other mutually. in times of crisis and in times of joy. We learned a new vocabulary. I know now that you have to feel it to heal it.
It's like an adventure, really. It's a self-discovery and adventure of who am I and where do I belong and what do I really choose. The thing I really loved is just the connection with everybody else. Just being able to walk into a space and we're all just being real. The things I really did commit to, one was my marriage, and it's stronger than ever. It's stronger than ever, and it wasn't. It was really hanging on by a thread, to be honest. And we are united, we're strong, we're communicating, we are a team. He had to step up as well, and raise his consciousness and use these tools. And I gave him some LifeLine sessions, and he was like, my goodness, this feels like it could be life-changing, and it's like, yes, it is. The whole experience is just life-changing. It really has changed my life. It's rippled out to my children, and we're so bonded. The 5 of us now are just this incredibly strong unit. How often do we have a chance to put life aside? The busyness, the hamster wheel that you talk about going round and round, the work, the family, all the commitments, all the other things that we fill our lives up with. How often do we have an opportunity to put that aside and go in and just focus on ourselves and work towards being the greatest version of ourselves? So even giving yourself the opportunity to make that commitment to boot camp is a huge step in itself. It's saying, I'm ready to make those changes, In
this immersion in boot camp, where we allow ourselves the time to process. We take this experience where we spend a day connecting to our professional goals. We spend a day in our family goals. We spend a day in our personal goals. It gives us that opportunity to clearly define what we want by giving us a glimpse of what we don't want. And a big part of the boot camp is we witness for each other. We hold a space and we witness these dreams, these visions, these intentions for our lives together. My first experience of boot camp, we came together in November. And at that time in my life, I was ready to open my heart, ready to open my life to a new relationship. And so I'd set an intention in my personal goals to open the door in my life to bringing in a new relationship. So from this elevated space of emotion, which we created in this container, this sacred container that is boot camp, I was able to connect with that vision of what I did want in a relationship, what I do want to hold in a personal relationship. Then in December, actually on New Year's Eve, an action step that I took as part of that was to do an online dating profile for the first time in my life. And then in January, I met Curtis, and he was the first connection that I made in that service, in that venue, that online venue. And I was the first connection for him. And then we met, and instantly we had that knowing that this was the relationship that I had called in. And it's been a wonderful, flourishing, rich relationship. I attribute this new relationship that is so meaningful and rich in my life to the LifeLine Bootcamp. So I would recommend it because I think it's a life changer, so that you're going to go into this experience one person and come out of it a different person, a person who is more aligned with their heart, a person who is more aligned with their truth, a person who is more aligned with their light. So much of our time we spend doing, and these 3 days we spend time being in our hearts, dropping into that space where we are honoring the truth of who we are. I will be at boot camp year after year, growing and expanding.
The amount of effort that you put in as an individual into tapping into who you are. And honestly, a big part of boot camp is answering that question. Who am I? I was going through a divorce when I was at boot camp. 2 kids, a 4 and a 7-year-old. My ex-wife, I was married to for 14 years. So a lot of my intentions were focused on a positive outcome associated with that process. First and foremost for my boys, my 2 boys, and then my ex, right along with them, because she's their mom. How do we do this so that way we both are able to have our best lives, you know, ahead of us and in the future, and our kids have the best lives as well? I was just showing somebody pictures today, my ex-wife and I on vacation on August 3rd, which is 2 days after we finished our divorce. And, you know, we're all smiling in the picture and we're not faking it. It's for real. And I mean, I attribute a big part of that to boot camp, and not just boot camp, but the LifeLine process overall, and all the other tools that you bring in based on the experience you have at the LifeLine, because, you know, you don't just change at the LifeLine and then you stop. You change at the LifeLine and then you continue to change. And that's the beauty of it.